Hello and welcome to this very quick video to introduce you to how to build your cardboard boat. Hopefully you're going to take part in the cardboard boat race later on this year. So let's get started then. First of all, don't get anxious about building your boat. It's all down to the planning, it's all down to making sure you've got all the materials and making sure you've got a fair bit of space, because you're going to need a fair bit of space in which to kind of build this boat. I'm using my garage. But you can use a hall, you can even go outside if the weather's good. You're going to need enough space to take about 6 sheets of this special card with this kind of cardboard, and you're going to glue those together. So you're going to need a bit of space and a decent set of plans before you even get started. So let's have a look at the materials you're going to use. The most important material really is your cardboard. This cardboard here has got a white face and a brown face. We got this from a company called Kite, and Kite actually were also able to provide it in a whole variety of different sizes, but the size of sheet I'm going to use here is 1.2 meters by 96 centimeters wide, and it's also double plied, which basically means you've got 2 layers of corrugation, which actually gives you a very stiff and very strong piece of cardboard and good building material for your boat. We're going to do all our marking up on the brown side. That way we leave the white side free so we can paint on it and put all the company logos, your school logos and whatever kind of things you want to put on there. And it gives you a good surface, nice and smooth surface, so you get a really good shiny gloss finish. The other kind of materials you're going to need are going to be your wood glue. Wood glue, this is wood glue I bought from Toolstation, but you can also get wood glue like this from Screwfix. But please try and make sure it's fast setting. This sets in around about 10 minutes, and that means that from beginning to end it's going to take you around about an hour, maybe 2 hours to actually completely go from cardboard to a finished boat. If you're using this kind of ordinary wood adhesive, please make sure that it's waterproof. The key reason for that is this boat is actually going to be immersed in water, and the last thing you want is for any of your joints to start kind of coming apart, and there are going to be 1 or 2 joints which are going to be underwater. The next thing besides that are your tapes you're going to need. You're going to need some masking tape to actually hold the boat together while all the glue is setting, and you're going to need some duct tape, waterproof cloth duct tape, which you're going to use to seal all the joints before you actually start painting your boat. Make sure that you can get this in about 50-meter rolls, because you're going to need roughly 50 meters of this tape if you're going to be completely covering your boat in tape and make it totally waterproof. And that will mean though that you'll have difficulty painting, but that's a choice you're going to need to make yourself. This comes in around about £6 or so in a double pack. You're only going to need 1 of these to actually build your boat completely. Next thing are your craft knives. You're going to need your craft knives to actually cut your board to size. Please make sure whatever craft knife you use, you have ones with retractable blades, so that when you're not using them, the actual knife can sit there quite safely without necessarily cutting you. So when you're not using it, the blade gets retracted, and when you are using it, the blade is easy to come out and quick and easy to change. Do not use blades that are blunt. You pull too hard against the cardboard because you're trying to make up for the bluntness of the blade, and that's how accidents happen. So good sharp blades, and change them if you need to. Please make sure, again, blades fully retracted when you're not using them. The next thing is a good tape measure. Now, the reason I kind of chuckle at this is because I actually have several of these on the job, because I find that every now and again I put these under these large sheets of cardboard, forget they're there, and I lose them all the time. So make sure you've got a good tape measure, easy to read, and also one with a good hook at the end, because you're going to have to hook this around some of the cardboard sheets on several occasions while you're measuring this up. Remember, your boat eventually is going to take roughly 6 sheets. That's quite a large area to actually have to reach across, and even when you're passing this across to other people in your team while you're building your boat, you've got to make sure that it's easy to use and easy to read. The next thing is your steel straight edge. Now, I use a steel straight edge. This is an ordinary old spirit level, and the reason I use a steel straight edge is because a steel straight edge actually gives you a good surface to cut against or to bend against when you're actually moving your cardboard. When you're actually going to be bending a cardboard, the key to this is actually making sure that when you bend it, put your actual cardboard down on there, and you can bend up against the edge really quickly, really easily. Leaves you with a good joint, and when you take that away, as you can see, it's bent really easily. If you're going across the actual corrugations, you need even more, because this is actually a lot harder to do. And with a steel edge like that, you get even so you get yourself a good firm joint by actually using this to actually bend against. So it's good for cutting, it's good for bending, it's also good for marking out the distances and the different kind of lines you're going to need to construct your boat. One other tool which lots of people tend to overlook is the hacksaw. Now, you're not going to use a hacksaw as a hacksaw, you're going to actually use its handle, because the handle, being a dull surface, is very good for creasing cardboard, okay, and as a result it gives you an easy way of getting a decent bend. Notice I haven't cut the paper in doing so. If you cut the paper, it loses some of its strength, and sometimes we just get overzealous with the blade and we punch right through to the outside, and you end up making a hole in the cardboard when you don't need to. So this nice dull blade there, or dull handle, you can use that to actually crease your cardboard and give you a decent edge. So let's very quickly just review those things. We need decent craft knives with retractable blades, a good, easy to use, retractable tape measure, waterproof, quick drying wood glues, duct tape, waterproof. This is around about 5 centimeters in diameter, 5 centimeters across, and this is a 50 meter length of tape. Some masking tape to hold it all together while the glue is drying, a decent straight edge, usually a steel straight edge for bending, cutting and for drawing straight lines, and finally good quality cardboard. If you can, get it double ply. If you can, also get it white faced and with a cardboard plain face on the other side. This is the face you do all your measuring on, this is the face you actually use to paint on, and you'll appear initially to build your boat inside out. This is the kind of boat that we're going to try and build. This is a little paper model I made. This is around about 10th size, and as you can see, it's got a nice little pointy bow, it's got a punt end, and it's also got a couple of bulkheads on the inside, and the idea is that this boat, when it's built full size, will hold a person up to around about 150 to 200 kilos, and that will mean it will come up to roughly halfway up the side of your boat, and I'll show you how you can actually give yourself a little bit of extra stability by adding tubes to the outside of your boat. So those are the key components on how to build your boat, or what to do, what you need to build your boat, and hopefully you'll join me for the next video when we'll actually take all these materials, make our plan, and turn this piece of cardboard here into a half-scale model of the boat that you're going to build for the cardboard boat race. Thanks very much indeed. See you later.